stocks took yet another major dive. CBS News national correspondent Jeff Glor is on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with the very latest on this whiplash at Wall Street. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm well, but the market maybe not so much. How about these dives? Yeah, 3 out of the past 5 trading days, the Dow is down at least 400 points. Overnight, overseas markets seem to have stabilized somewhat as we prepare for another interesting trading day here today. Wednesday's bell brought the close of another trading day, but it's hard to believe the end of all the uncertainty.
It's breathtaking. The volatility is absolutely breathtaking.
This recent 520-point slide for the Dow led largely by new fears over Europe. Severe economic problems in Italy and Spain have been in the spotlight. Yesterday, the focus was on France.
There was some concern that France would have its own AAA rating downgraded, and that's because France is invested heavily in the debt of Spain and Italy, which already have big debt problems.
French banks and U.S. financials got hammered. Bank of America down 11%, Citigroup 10%, Goldman Sachs 10% as well. Investors swiping money from stocks and stuffing it into safer investments, especially gold, which continues soaring to new levels.
Gold prices spike at a time of uncertainty.
This latest market slide has now taken the S&P down 18% since late April, the Dow almost 10%. But there's always perspective.
Nothing goes one way forever, no matter how bad or how good the news is. There are always corrections. That's what stock trading is all about.
Dow is still up more than 60% from its deep low in March of 2009. Art Cashin of UBS was here for that, been here for many more rides. Art, good to see you again.
See you.
Let's talk about 2008 comparisons. People talking about that. Is this similar to 2008?
Well, not exactly, although I must admit that the chief question yesterday was, how do you say Bear Stearns in French? The concern in Europe shifted from the debt of nations, the sovereign debt, to worrying about the financial institutions, yesterday particularly the large French banks. And that gave us a great deal of concern because when it gets into the banking system, as we learned in 2008, it can shift about quite readily.
Was in the U.S. banking system, now in the European banking system. If you're the average investor at this point, what's the advice? Stay away until all this calms down?
Well, I think the advice is to pretty much sit tight. To act precipitously in this kind of a market can be very painful and very expensive. What I would say is you should review your holdings, see if you can add a little extra safety to them, and if you have a particular industry or company that you think is getting very attractive, set a target. We have a saying here in Wall Street on days like this: put in silly bids, put in a very low bid that you think it may not get hit. And if the markets get crazy, they may throw a bargain in your basket.
Because the markets can be silly themselves. Art Cashin from UBS, always good to see you, sir.